Hey guys, how you doing?
Not bad, thank you.
Yeah, little cold over there, I heard.
Yeah, we're at about 5 degrees today, which it's a bit warmer than you, but yeah,
Hey,
still
listen,
cold for us.
if you just want to trade at any time, just let me know.
No, you can keep it.
So what time is it there right now?
It's 8:15 at night.
Okay, not too late then.
No, no, not bad at the moment.
No,
No, just
so
get the kids in bed first.
Yeah,
so you guys live on the boat right now, like your
yeah,
vessel, or
yeah.
okay, cool. Okay, so why don't you tell our listeners who you are and what your story's about?
I'm Chris
I'm Kelly. We've got two daughters
that live on the boat.
with us, aged 4 and 3. And then we've got two older children. Well, I've got two older children that live back where we're from in Derby.
Oh, nice. I think it's pretty cool that you guys are living on the boat now. Like, are you traveling anywhere? Or are you just staying? Well, tell us
Not
where you're
at the
from, I
moment,
guess,
no,
first.
but we're still doing work on the boat, obviously, to get ready for it to. Like she's seaworthy, and she could go where we want her to go, but we want to do like our creature comforts before we actually go and set off. Because like I'm in a full-time job and everything, so I've got an income, and we we were going to go last October, but then we thought while I'm in a job and I'm getting a wage, why don't we do the work that we wanted as opposed to having to find people, trades that can do the job further down the line when
Mhm.
we know that all them trades are local to us now. So we thought we'll stay, get them done, then go.
Yeah, that's actually a smart idea.
So some of the places that we want to go to, obviously, they're not remote as in the middle of nowhere like the South Pacific, but when you don't know the area, trying to like find somebody to do some wiring, it's like you could spend half a day just trying to find somebody.
Yeah.
Whereas like we've got one that's a 30-second walk off the pontoons.
No, and you're absolutely right. And and once you're out there, that's it. You're out there. There's no, I gotta got an electrician in or an engineer. It's no, no.
Well, that's simple.
So, will this be your guys' first time doing an adventure like this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
so you've never been to sea before?
We've been out on this boat and that, and Kelly used to like pretty much live on boats when she was little. When she went on holiday, used to go up to Turkey, didn't you?
Yeah.
And
Well,
they used to know like a family that lived there, and they go out on their boats. So like she grew up on boats.
not the same as
Yeah, it's not the same as living on it and being on it full time, but she's used to the high seas.
obviously we're both very new to it, as in the whole sailing aspect. You've done your
I've done my day skipper. I'm working through my yacht master now, but obviously I need more experience, so I need more hours to obviously complete my yacht master, which I'll gain by when we leave. That's where I'll get my hours on the sailing. So then later down the line, I can do it or come back to the UK to do it.
Okay. So, how difficult is it to get these courses? And, like, you know, I'm sure you guys have like regulations over there where your boat has to pass inspections, etc.
The boat itself, it's literally you buy a boat and you can go. You don't technically need any like licenses. You don't need a driving license like you do for a car. I could literally sell you the boat tomorrow, take it out the marina for you, and says, "There you go, go. See you later," and you could just sail off and never be seen again. So
Oh,
it's
wow.
to buy a boat like that. It's easy, but it's not a safe way to do it.
it's like it's coming into the marina. You have to have insurance, and to have insurance, you have to have obviously
Day
day
skipper
skipper.
for like a minimum kind of thing, which
So
that's like obviously your basic for sailing. And that one's pretty simple to get. You literally spend 5 days on a boat. You just sail around your local area or wherever you take the course. Learn how to anchor, learn how to dock, um, and then just do a bit of sailing, and that's pretty much it. And it's pretty much you pass every time kind of thing, unless you really can't do anything and you crash the boat. It is easy to do. But then obviously as you go to the yacht master and all that, it's a lot more advanced. And like you have to get 2,500 hours just to be able to take the test for it.
Oh, wow.
And like when you're doing long distances, that's not a lot. But when you're only pottering around your local area like we do at the moment,
We've not been far at all.
Okay.
see, we've owned the boat for nearly 2 years, 2 years in summer, but we haven't been a great distance on it, because when we used to live, obviously where we're from, it was like a 4.5 hour drive to get down here. It's literally
Oh, wow.
half the way down the country to get down here.
Yeah.
And like, because Kelly's got 2 older kids that are in secondary school, if you leave on a Friday afternoon, they'd finish school at like 3:30, 4 o'clock by the time you're due to leave. 4 hours down here, you're talking 8:30, depending on traffic, 9 o'clock. So you don't go out at 9 o'clock at night. So you get up Saturday morning, you go out Saturday, but then you have to be back by like Sunday morning, Sunday dinner, to then drive back home to school the next day, kind of thing. So
Just weren't enough time, was there?
unless it was school holidays, we didn't come down very often for the first year.
The last
And that's understandable too, like a 4 hour drive, and then, you get there, it's probably late. Like I
That's
said,
it.
the only thing you
You're
want to
doing
do
a
is go
4
to
hour
sleep.
You're doing a 4 hour drive to literally go out on it for probably 8 hours, kind of thing, and then obviously drive all the way back home. So we didn't use her that much, did we, the first year, and then the second year we changed marinas and we took her to go on the hard for the first 4 months of that year, that season.
April till August, didn't she?
Yeah, because our season runs like March, April until like September, October, depending on what the weather's like. And we brought around just round the corner from where we are now. And she was on the hard until August, which that's the majority of the good sailing season.
Oh, wow.
Because we were doing a lot of work to her. And then obviously we got her back in, and we went out about 4 or 5 times last year, didn't we? But again, it was still only local because it was weekend trips that we could go on.
So the boat only travels at like 5 knots?
Between 5 and 7 knots, depending on obviously what wind is.
So obviously a small trip isn't a small trip. It's a long trip, if that makes sense. So like...
I get what you're saying, 100%.
4 hours just to get somewhere.
Just to get there.
Yeah,
it's not just get out of your car and get on the boat. It's get out of your car, unpack everything, and then try to sleep to get up to go out just for an 8 hour trip, right?
It's like our local Anchorage. It's our go to Anchorage, isn't it? It's nice and peaceful around there. The weather's not bad because it's protected pretty much all round. It's about 15 mile away from where we are, and it can take 4 to 5 hours to get there.
Oh, wow.
And then if it's busy, if you turn up late, whatever day you turn up, and it's like a school holiday, there might not be room to stay in there. So then you have to anchor outside, which it's still safe outside, but it's a lot rougher, or it can be a lot rougher.
We've done it out.
Yeah, we've done it a couple of times, which it's totally safe, but you just might be in for a bumpy night.
Yeah. Oh, hey, listen, there's nothing wrong. Being on a boat, I love the bumpy nights. They put me right to sleep.
See, Kelly doesn't mind the bumpiness out at sea, but you put her on a ferry cruise liner and she's seasick. But she's fine on little boats.
It's crazy.
Yeah, you think it'd be the other way around, right?
Yeah.
They say that the bigger the boats are like your ferry cruise liners, you can't feel them move, so you shouldn't get seasick. And it's like, because I can't feel it move, it makes me feel sick. Yeah.
Maybe that's what it is, because you know where you're at, and just you should be feeling something different than what you're used to. I get it. So what made...
like this, so.
So what made you guys want to just kind of pack up everything and do this?
I
guess you didn't really have a say then, eh?
It is. It's all you.
Well, yeah. Everyone says I come up with these crazy ideas and stuff. So like I wanted to do it. It all started obviously in COVID, which it did for a lot of people. I'd thought about it before COVID, but I seriously started looking at boats and everything in COVID. And then we soon like realised that if we want to do this seriously, we've got to like get some money behind us first. So we pretty much sold up everything. Like we had a car and a van at the time. We sold the van because obviously we didn't need it because of lockdown. We didn't move for 4 months. And we had one vehicle, didn't we?
Yeah.
One car. So we literally saved up everything we could in lockdown. And we brought a house towards the end of lockdown. And we were like, if we want to make money to buy a boat, we're going to like do houses up. So we renovated houses. So we've done 3 houses, haven't we? And we still own 2 of them. And that's how we brought the boat, by obviously doing the houses up.
That's pretty impressive. Like, I'm very jealous, by the way, that you guys get to do that. I'm just saying.
It was very hard work. And to be fair, Chris does the majority of the work on the houses. Well, everything, don't you?
Yeah.
If he can do it, he will do it. So
As like, obviously, I had full-time job then when I was up there, and I was doing anything up to 60 hours a week in my full-time job. I used to do 12 days on, 2 days off.
Oh, wow.
And then on them 2 days off, I'd go up there. If I finished work early in the week, I'd go up there for a few hours to do a house, because they're only about 6 miles away from where we lived at the time.
it was hard.
So I was literally
I
working
bet.
every day. So for 3 years, we worked every day, unless there was a trade in there. Because like over here, you can't do like electrics yourself and rent the houses out. You have to get them certificated. So you need obviously a registered electrician to do the work.
With gas.
Yeah, like with gas, you can't touch the gas unless you've been through all the courses. So for certain stuff, obviously we had to get the trades in. But then like laying tiles in like the kitchen, I just YouTubed it. I was like, get on YouTube, see how to lay a tile, and then I was like, right.
That YouTube is that works wonders, doesn't it?
Oh,
Yeah.
You can learn so much from it. Like I'd never fitted kitchen cabinets before, and
did that
we've
3 times.
fitted 3 kitchens in the time that we've done it.
Heavily pregnant, resting the worktop on my bum.
You know,
they're still standing now, so they're obviously stood the time.
yeah,
Took a while.
right? I know people are, kind of against certain social media platforms, but I think YouTube is great.
Yeah.
Especially for learning something. Like, I picked up on a few books of philosophy and everything, just kind of trying to understand it. So I was Googling a few things, but I just said, you know what, I'll go to YouTube and see. So it helps out with any subject, any project, sports, anything. It's there for you.
I think it's definitely easier than having instruction booklets flying around.
Oh, they're the worst. They're the worst.
Like when we were kids, obviously there was no YouTube or anything, and it's
No.
like if you wanted to know how to do something, you had to either learn it or ask somebody how to do it and get someone to teach you. Now, sit in front of a computer for a couple of hours and you can soon learn something.
Well, you could do kitchen cupboards, right? Like countertops, flooring. Like it's crazy. You don't need to hire a carpenter for most projects anyway. You can do it yourself.
We literally just had people in for the things that we needed
to do.
And that was it. Other than that, you did it all, didn't you?
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't mess around with like electrical or anything, because I'm not, and I don't want to end up outside the boat either, right?
See, on the boat, it's different because a lot of it is 12 volts. So, like, you're just going to get a tingle off it. But there is 240 on it. So obviously, we've got like computer and we've got TV and that. But a lot of it, it's all 12 volt, like all the lighting and everything. It's all 12 volt. So you can have a play around with it, and you're not gonna
end up in the ocean somewhere, right?
Yeah.
So,
but obviously for certain stuff, we do still have people in. Like I've just had some inverters fitted, and I've had a company on the marina fit them last week because to go off grid, go sailing, ideally you need like your 240 volts to run your home appliances. So obviously 240 is the set, like the same version as like your 120, but obviously we run off 240. But yeah, you need it for all your home comforts, if you
So
like.
now, are you going to give up your everyday job and
Yes. When we finally go, yes.
oh wow, that
Um,
again, it goes back to I'm jealous again.
We haven't got any dates set though yet.
yeah.
As
Okay.
much as we'd like to say that we had, it's nothing's 100% yet,
No.
because obviously you never know what's going to happen, and
That's the thing, you don't know what life's
there
going
is
to throw at your.
that's it. And there is so much that we still do need to do to
Yeah.
vote. As in, again, like you said, not to make it seaworthy for the things that we to make it more comfortable for us out there.
Mhm.
Do you know what I mean? It is like,
It's all creature comforts
yeah,
that we're doing,
Yeah.
and like sustainability. It's like the boat's got no solar on it, and if you're going off grid and not going into marina, you've got to make your energy somewhere. And other than running an engine, solars and wind obviously is your only other way to do it. And because it's got no solar on it at the moment, we need solar. So we need some way to generate the electricity that we're going to be using daily.
obviously the whole idea is to spend as little as possible once we're done.
Absolutely. Now, what's your vision with this? Like, where do you guys want to travel, or are you just going to stay in your country
world.
area, or are you going right over the world?
That's it. The
Okay.
goal is go around the world. Obviously, if we don't make it around the world, if we decide that, you know what, we like it here, we're staying kind of thing, we'd like not get rid of the boat, but we'd park the boat somewhere and say, right, we're stopping here kind of thing. But yeah, the ultimate goal is circumnavigate. But
I don't think I could ever see myself living in a house again now. Maybe
Yeah.
when I'm old.
like we're now into our 8th month, like on the boat full time, and people say to me, "Are you getting bored of it yet?" And like Kelly gets asked daily by there's a couple of people back up from
I
where
never
we're.
even thought to ask that question. How could you get bored of it?
Yeah,
People say, "Is it cold there? Are you cold on the boat?" Because it's like 6 degrees
yeah.
outside, but like in here at the moment, you see that
30 degrees.
it's 30 degrees in here at the moment. Yeah, it's 5 degrees outside, but we've had the heating on, and it's 30 degrees in here. So
Turn the heating back on. Although you might want to turn it off in the bedroom. I turned the heating back on about 8 o'clock tonight, just to give us a bit of a
just to boost it until you get into bed, and then once you're in bed, she's brought all these fleecy blankets to sleep under, so you don't get cold.
Yeah. So you guys mentioned earlier you have kids with you, Xander. What do they think of this whole?
They love it.
Do
Like
they?
Litland, she's 3, she'll be 4 in August. Like she was like 2 years when she came on the boat, and obviously she'd been down on the boat for quite a bit before then, and really this is all she knows now, like living on the boat. Like obviously she can't talk to express her feelings, but she wouldn't remember like in a house as such.
No, I get what you're saying. Yeah.
And
So
this is second nature to her now, kind of thing. Like, we were
now,
living on the hard, and obviously, while it's on the hard, you've got to get on your boat up a ladder, and we had a ladder at the back of our boat, and we used to walk into the compound where she was, and we had this 14, 15-foot ladder at the back of the boat, and she would run from the gate to the back of the boat, and she'd be halfway up the ladder before you even got to the boat. And she was like 2 years old, and you're like, you're going to fall down and break your neck. But like you were soon behind her, but then after a couple of weeks, you could let her we didn't, but you could let her get up and down that ladder on her own because she was so used to it. But then her 14-year-old came, and she thought she was going to die because she couldn't get her foot onto the ladder. And she was that scared. But then the 2-year-old loved it.
yeah. But
always
that's always the way, though. Like someone new, like that are older. That, well, the fear is there. Yeah, definitely, right? Like someone that age, they don't know, right? They just think they're having a party, right?
The toddlers don't have any fear at all, like any toddler. So because they don't see it, it doesn't bother them. But as they're older, they do. You see the dangers more, so it does it frighten.
So
But
what challenges do you guys think you are going to face by like living on the boat?
There'll be a lot of challenges, a hell of a lot. Like,
it's breaking.
yeah, the biggest thing on the boat is things breaking. Like, if it's fixing, it will be. If it's working today, it will be broke tomorrow. Because there's never a day goes by that something doesn't need fixing on a boat.
No.
So it's
And
the big one is like learning all that kind of stuff. Like, we've got two mates that obviously a husband and wife that are in the Caribbean, and they're our go-to people. It's like, this won't work, and it's quick, let's ring it out, see what they say kind of thing. And they're our go-to people.
the amount of things that we've had broken since moving on board. So, like, for example, there was one night I cooked tea, hadn't I?
Yeah.
And sat down, and the electrics just went off.
So obviously the 12 volts stayed on, so all the lights stay on, but then like the TV would go off, and we're like, the power was just tripped. So she went to the breakers to like switch the breakers back on. She got electrocuted on the breakers, and I thought,
just a little jolt, right?
Yeah.
I thought it's a bit smoky in here, but I didn't say anything. So we didn't know if it was her cooking, and we left it. And I was like, we'll sort it after we've eaten. Go back to it, open it up, and there's sparks and flames coming out the back of the electric board. And we're like, oh right, well, we best like sort that out first. So then we had
this is something new.
Yeah. So we went to bed that night with no heating or anything, and that was just before just after Christmas.
Yeah,
just after Christmas, when it was freezing down here, like -2 at night. Obviously, the boat doesn't get that cold, but it was cold out there.
You can feel it, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, definitely. You'll feel a little bit of it, right?
Yeah, but obviously we've got no insulation.
That's it. We've literally got just over an inch of thickness of boat between us and the water, and obviously, if the water's like 2 degrees, that cold's coming into the boat.
So what you're saying is you're going to head to the Caribbean, isn't it?
Yeah, that's why. Yeah, you follow the sun on a boat. You follow the sun.
Yeah.
Obviously, we can't go into the Mediterranean. Obviously, that's where we're hoping to go to start with. But because of Brexit and Schengen, we can't stay there for longer than 90 days.
90 days. We've obviously in 180, so in 6 months we can stay in Europe for 3 months at a time. They call it on the boat. They call it Schengen Shuffle. You go into a country which is in Schengen, so like France, Spain, Portugal down the coast, and then as soon as you get to the bottom of Spain, you go through this Gibraltar and go into Gibraltar, and then you start getting your time back. So if you've used 60 days coming down the west coast of Spain and Portugal, then you drop into Gibraltar and you wait there for 60 days. So then you've got your 180 days back. So then you carry on going. And then when you've run out of 180, you have to go somewhere else. But there's not that many places you can go to in the Med that are out of Schengen. So it's like, it's Gibraltar, Tunisia, Turkey, and that's your main ones that you go to kind of thing. So it's hard to try and plan it around where we can go.
So do you plan on like making your way over to Canada, the US?
I want to go up the east coast, don't I, of the US, and then obviously work our way back down, and then go across to through the Panama, and then up the west coast. Because like when I went on holiday, my holidays were like LA and that, and Vegas and everything. So I like the west coast of America. So I want to take the boat up the west coast. And we've said, haven't we, that we'd like to go to like in San Francisco and then up to like into Canada and over to Alaska.
Oh, nice.
And then go from Alaska down to Hawaii to get into the Pacific.
Nice.
But obviously that's probably 5-6 years down the line.
Yeah. You know, I'm just wondering. You know, I'm trying to get a feel for your story here, and I think it's going to be great. Like, and I definitely want to keep in contact with you when you start your journey for sure. So what was?
We're on YouTube.
Oh, I know, and I'm going to plug your social media links for you too. So what how did your friends and your family react to?
Call us crazy. We at first we were like, it'll never happen. It's a pipe dream because, like we said before, I always have these
He does.
wild, crazy ideas kind of thing. And like years ago, I wanted to buy a farm and grow and like raise chickens and make eggs and sell eggs. I did it in my back garden with 18 chickens, and I wanted to like upscale it. And like it was
Just wanted a cow.
I wanted
So why
cows
not, right?
and all that. So, but it was a wild idea, and obviously this was another wild idea in their eyes. Like I remember my sister went on holiday, and she sent me a picture of like a trawler, a wooden trawler with holes in it, and she says, "Here's your boat for you." And it literally, you couldn't even put it in the water. And I'm like, not that kind of boat. And everybody just thought we were mad, and like it was never going to happen.
The one person that our biggest supporter was my dad. The only thing he said was, "Please don't go while I'm still alive."
See, he was terminally ill through lockdown, and he knew that obviously we wanted to do this, and we lived with him because Kelly was his main carer.
Okay.
And he says, "Don't go until I've died," kind of thing. That was his only like wish, kind of thing. He had no problems with us doing it. It was just don't go until I'm dead, kind of thing. And he says, when you do go, take me with you, because obviously he was cremated, and in the boat now we've got a box with his ashes in it, and his ashes are all split up into little 5 ml vials, and wherever we go, we sprinkle him because he wants to be sprinkled.
Okay.
Wherever we go, so like, yeah, he was our biggest supporter of it. It was just that we knew that he was never going to get to see us do it, kind of thing.
Both my nan, who is nearly 81, and my auntie, who is 76.
They've both been on, and they've both been out at sea with us. Like her auntie came down, she says, "I want to come on the boat to say that I've been on the boat, but I'm not going out there."
I was just going to ask you that. Are you going to take any family with you? Like, because eventually you'll make it back to, the UK.
I'd love for family to come down to be on the boat and come out, but if I'm honest, I don't think they will. Like, my nan, she's been on the boat, but my granddad is registered blind and can't really do a lot for himself now. So
he'd struggle to get around the boat. Like he'd literally sit here and watch TV, and that's about it. And it's more like listen to the TV than watch it. Like being out there, he wouldn't get to see anything. So,
and obviously for her to leave him on his own is a big thing now, because obviously looking after himself. So I think for my nan now it's harder. My aunt is always up for coming.
Like, she wouldn't come for like 2-3 weeks and say, "Yeah, let's go to France," or "Let's go and then I'll get a plane back." It's like, we'll go out there for an afternoon, and then we'll come back.
Yeah.
She likes the comfort of being on the pontoon.
She wouldn't like to anchor overnight, but she wouldn't like the whole rockiness.
And that's the thing, like when people get on boats and everything, they think it's going to be great. It's a totally different thing, to even work on one, but to live on one and sail the world is totally different ball game altogether.
We see it that obviously we're going to get the experience, which a lot of people, they don't leave their hometown from when they're born until they die, kind of thing. They stay local to where they were born, and like we've said, we want the kids to experience it.
Absolutely.
And make
like
the
I
most.
said, I'm very jealous. Like, I'd love to be able to take my daughter and experience what you guys are about to experience and embark, right?
So the girls will both be homeschooled eventually. Obviously, at the moment they are in a time school, school and nursery. But once we leave, they will be homeschooled.
Okay.
Yeah, because I was going to ask you that. What about like schooling now? Like,
we've got quite a few friends, haven't we? We've got a family that we know in Brighton, which is just down the south coast from us.
They are already homeschooled.
And they're homeschooled. They've got 3 kids. They're quite a bit older than ours, aren't they?
Yeah.
But they've got 3 kids, and they're at like GCSE level. which is like the end of high school.
Okay.
And
Obviously, one's younger.
yeah, there's one that's quite a bit younger, but then there's obviously one's going through final exams, and they're coping, doing all their exams and everything.
Well,
Like, you know,
homeschool is becoming quite popular now, especially the way the world is,
Yeah.
the way the world's going right now.
With COVID, obviously, they were doing all the homeschooling. What obviously, I don't know what it was like in the States and in Canada and that, but in England, it was the schools used to send the school work home for them and said, "This is your work kind of thing. This is what you've got to do this week." And some people never went back to school after it because they got on a lot better doing it at home than going into school.
Absolutely, because now you're eliminating the 12 other students, and now it's just one-on-one, right?
Yeah.
That's it.
We've also looked into what they need to study as well.
Because in England, by law, all that they have to study is English and maths. That's all they have to do.
Okay.
And what you want your child to learn or get a GCSE in is entirely up to you. It's like, it's beneficial to get obviously more than just them two, because obviously she's 5 now, isn't she, the oldest one?
Yeah.
If we don't leave till she's 7, technically we could be round the world and back by the time she's 12, 13. It's like, then she's got to go back into school. If we were to obviously stay back in England, she would have to like go back into school. And it's like, if she didn't learn all the other subjects, she'd be going in and she's like, well, I can only read and write and count to 10 kind of thing. I can't do science. I can't do this. I can't do that. So we still want them to learn all the subjects kind of thing. And like with the languages over here, you learn either French or German or Spanish, whereas they could pick up a new language every 6 months kind of thing.
Not only that, like doing this, it's also going to teach them life skills.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like that's what, they don't teach that in school anymore.
That's it. How many like kids at her age would you know? Like, give it a couple of years and she'll know how to sail a boat.
Yeah, exactly, right? Like it's a life skill. Like she'll know how to live on a boat.
Yeah.
As like you said before, like not a lot of people grow up and they never leave their hometown. They don't. That's all they know.
It's like the big one. Obviously, the little one's still a bit too small for it. But by the time we go, Olivia, the big one, will be at the age where she can take stuff in, and like I'll teach her to do like oil changes and stuff, and she'll know how to change an oil filter on a boat and change the oil and all that kind of stuff.
There was that one, I can't remember who it was, but there was a channel I was told to look at on Instagram, and they've got was she 2 driving in the dinghy, and she was
she can fully steer a dinghy on her own at 2 years old.
Yeah. Like I said, I wish I was doing it. I'm very jealous. And you got to make sure when you come to Canada, you got to let me know what part you're in.
Obviously, we had planned, hadn't we? Like, obviously, them plans are like really outlined plans. It's like, we would like to go here. Like I've said that we'd like to go up to like Maine, and then obviously it's just like a short hop into obviously Canada from there.
Yeah.
Obviously the west coast of Canada would be more that we would explore, but that's purely because it's on the route obviously up to Alaska. So obviously once we go up the east coast, it's back down. So it's however far up you go, you've got to come all the way back down. Whereas up the west coast, it's then a straight line down to get obviously to Hawaii. So it's
they say you can never have plans set in stone, though, either, can you?
Yeah.
Because you don't know what's going to happen. Like, hopefully not, but we could run out of money and have to either find somewhere where we can then go back to work or even come home. No, it's not what we want to do, but it's...
So long term, like you guys say, you do your trip around, and are you going to return back home, move off the boat, or is this it?
Kelly would like to live somewhere like the Caribbean or whatever, and find somewhere to
settle down
en route, but still have a boat or something like that. Not necessarily live on the boat, but we would still have a boat or this boat, whichever, once obviously we've been round, we'd then like start going again and then find somewhere to settle down if we wanted to.
I think long term, I think I'd want to try and maybe get something bigger.
Yeah.
Still boat wise.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, we're 44 foot, so we're quite a big size. And we've got 3 double cabins, so 3 double bedrooms on board and 2 heads, so 2 bathrooms. But there is boats out there that are
Like you can get
bigger.
round the corner from us. There's a boat maker called Oyster, and in the boat world, Oyster's like your Ferraris, your Lamborghinis kind of thing.
Well, that's
and
about price range.
they're like 70 odd foot boats kind of thing, and you're probably talking like £1 million kind of stuff for these boats. And we see them come down the river on like sea trials as they've just like launched them after they've been made. They've got no sails on them or anything, none of the outside equipment on, and you're like, look at that boat, and it's just massive.
So
having a whole cabin would be
Yeah.
nice.
Like Kelly's always
absolutely.
wanted a catamaran, which obviously then it just makes it feel like you're living on a house on the water then, because you don't feel all the waves as much, all the rolliness, what you do obviously on a monohull.
Oh, yeah, like for food wise, how you guys, like, have you thought about how you're going to prep everything to get to the next spot that you got to be to stock up on food? Or
in the Med, and obviously round from here for the first like 2 years we're planning into the Med and back out, the food issue isn't really a big issue, because we were going through that at Christmas. We were like, we need to like make room for storing like food or your dried goods and all that stuff. Like your cans tend to go in the bilges,
But ours aren't that deep,
but they're not deep that we can put a lot in there, but we can store certain stuff down there. But we were like, we need to make room. But then Annette, our friend in the Caribbean, she was over here for Christmas, and she was like, for the Med, you don't need to worry about it, because there's always a supermarket just around the corner kind of thing. You pull into the nearest town, anchor, go into a marina, whatever, go to shore, and there's a shop somewhere, like a supermarket somewhere.
It's obviously you might not get the brands that you would get
that you used to,
sort of thing.
but that's just the culture experience too, right?
That's it.
Yeah.
You try so many different foods, and it's like you try it or you don't eat kind of thing when you go.
I think that's one thing that we've got to get better at, is trying new food.
Yeah. Oh, definitely, for sure. But like I said, like once you start this, I think it's going to be amazing getting to try, even go to a restaurant or something in another place, right?
Yeah, definitely. Is that our internet? Or
it's going a bit.
We've like more or less like lost you a little bit.
Oh, that's okay. I can still see and hear you.
Oh, good. I just wanted to make sure.
But
yeah, like before
there's you've got to experience.
What was you going to say?
I was just going to say, your friends that are down in is it the Bahamas or the Caribbean?
They're actually in up near Martinique and that kind of area at the moment.
Okay. Now, are they doing what you guys do? Like, are they full-time sailors?
They've been gone since 2000.
They're in about year 7 now, I think they are. They went just before lockdown. When lockdown happened, they were stuck around Gibraltar. And they're from Southampton, where we are now. And we didn't know them to speak to when we moved, like when we brought the boat and everything. And obviously they were in the Caribbean, so we were watching their YouTube and everything. And then they came back last Christmas 2023. They came back, and they were back home for long enough that they came to the boat and we met and everything in person. After like 6 months of talking and that, we met up. But yeah, they're literally from like 3 miles down the road, and they used to live on their boat next door to where we are. And they actually lived in this marina as well, because they've had a boat for like 20 odd years. And they've lived in this marina and in the marina next door to us.
Wow,
and they left 2019, whatever it was, 18. And they've literally done the same as us. They've been down into the Med, and then obviously over to the Caribbean. This is their second season in the Caribbean.
But obviously,
Nice.
we're not sure on their future plans.
Yeah,
because obviously
Kelly always
things
wanted
change.
to. She always wanted to catch up with them, but
Yeah.
because they're that far ahead of us, unless we miss the whole of the Med out, the whole of the Spain out, it's like straight over to the Caribbean to catch up with them. So
Okay.
we would miss so much out, but then they could turn around and say, you know what, we've had enough of going home. And then we could like go over there, then they could come home, and then we've missed them. Like, we've missed all of that other stuff just to catch up with them. So we've
Yeah.
said we can't focus on that, even though we would love to like be able to
Yeah.
buddy boat with them. It's just at the moment it's not logistical to do
No,
it that way.
I get it. And, you know, like you guys want to set out too and embark on your journey and explore, right?
That's it, definitely.
Yeah. So, well, guys, I want to thank you for popping on here. It's been awesome. Yeah, no, it's been really great. And I'm looking forward to pictures. I'm looking forward to hearing your stories.
There'll be plenty of them. He's busy making YouTube. Obviously, at the moment, we've not got a lot of content to be able to put on YouTube videos, because obviously there's only so much you can film while you're in a marina.
Yeah,
Like,
no.
it's the same stuff week in, week out for us. Yeah, we're doing jobs on the boat, but we're not these like DIY channels that there's going like a lot of stuff I watch a channel called Sail Life, which is Mads. He's from Europe, but now he's in Florida, and he renovated his boat literally from scratch. And like I watched him a lot, obviously before we brought the boat, like learning how to do things. But we're not a DIY channel like that, so we don't film every little bit of the jobs that we're doing at the moment, because a lot of people don't want to see that. They want to see the sailing side of it.
They want to see the everyday life stuff of, you know, they want to see the nice stuff. They don't want to see the hard stuff behind the scenes of like 20 minutes before this video, our engine broke down kind of thing, right?
But they also like to see the bad things like that. They like to see the things happening to you that, like the real life stuff, if that makes sense.
Yep.
No, they don't like you to show just the good bits. They like you to show the scary bits, but not the boring bits.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say, not the boring stuff.
Yeah.
I'll sit and watching the TV at night.
All right, guys, it's been great, and we'll definitely have to keep in touch.
Yeah,
right. Yeah.
Thank you.